Hello, people, and we're back again, or I'm back again with the Lady's Choice. Turn the music up just a bit. Right about there. Alright, and I guess we were here. Yeah, okay. Lord Stanton, you gave me quite the shock. I apologize, I merely saw you looking so confused and wanted to offer my services if you should need to talk. I did so enjoy our conversation yesterday, after all. All of my sudden thoughts are washed away, and I smile up at him. As did I. His attention shifts to where partners are lining up to dance before he turns to look back at me. Maybe a more energetic distraction is preferable. He gestures towards the dance floor. May I reserve this dance, Miss Edwards? We have not had the opportunity since the opening hall, and back then we did not know each other's names. I place my hand in his before I even realize I've done so. Thank you for the offer, Lord Stanton. He leads me to the dance floor, and I am accurately aware of the gazes locked onto us. The sharpest of them belonging to Arabella. She's just worried, okay? Chill. Oh. The melodic tune begins, and we drift closer to each other to begin the dance. That always weirds me out whenever they start here, and then for a dance, they move over here. I did not think you had made it to tonight's gathering. I'm sure that would have pleased many, and I do like to disappoint them when I can. Sassy. I give a small laugh, and we split to pass around the back of another couple before meeting again. Okay. The gathering is better for you being here. Oh, I wish you had been here sooner. Conversation has been dull without you to arouse the gossip, or I'm glad you are here. All of these sound alright. Gathering is better for you being here. Wish you'd been here sooner. I think maybe I wish you had been here sooner is kind of like maybe he wasn't here sooner because he was off gambling, and then that make him sad because he can't help it, or something along those lines. The gathering is better for you being here. Probably this one. Excuse me. Conversation has been somewhat dull without you around to arouse some gossip. I'm sure it has. There is little to entertain them whilst their pariah is out of sight. You are not a pariah to me. A fact I am most gladdened to hear. His captured smile catches me off guard, and my stomach flutters in response. The next moment, we almost forget to step away from each other for the next part of the dance and nearly collide with the couple beside us. He takes my hand, and we step close together as the dance comes to an end. Still, we remain together, my body unable and not wanting to move away. Ooh. I swallow hard at the realization he doesn't seem to want to either. I did not plan on coming tonight at all. My family could not make it, so there seemed little point in joining. So then why are you here? I took a gamble on someone else being in attendance. And did your gamble pay off? It always does. We're so close I fear he will hear the sudden pounding of my heart as his gaze pierces into my own. His fingers close tighter around mine, and the contact washing from my mind the thought that the music ended long ago. Ah, shit. Victoria, there you are! Arabella's voice suddenly makes me blink from the trance I'd found myself in. It seems to do the same for Stanton as he quickly steps away from me and drops my hand. Arabella comes to stand before us, a tense smile on her face. Lord Stanton, I did not realize you were here tonight. She bobs a small curtsy, and Stanton bows deeply before straining with a bright smile. I was just explaining to Miss Edwards that it was not in my plans to do so. But I found that something drew me here regardless. Ooh. He turns his smile to me, and I find I cannot help but return it. He clears his throat and looks back at Arabella. And one has to make an appearance at these things, don't they? Not always. Arabella! Come on! Her bright smile is quite obviously forced, and her cutting reply makes my eyes widen. As Arabella continues to cast an uneasy glare over the man, I realize now would be the best time to intervene. Thank you for the dance. Okay, nudge her to stop. Oh, I believe Lady Steer is calling for us. We should be going. Okay, well, these three seem like they would hurt his feelings. This one will probably hurt her feelings. Maybe. Guess this is the nicest to him. Thank you for the dance, Lord Stanton. It was indeed a great distraction. He smiles at me and drops into a bow. I shall be happy to offer the duty again, whenever it should be needed. I wrap a hand into Arabella's arm and lead her away before she explodes with a comment I'm sure she'll regret. Even as we move away, I cannot help but glance back to find his attention still upon me. The ride home in the carriage is unusually quiet, Arabella doing her best to keep her opinions to herself. When we arrive home, she remains silent, though sweeps into the drawing room like a thundercloud. I cannot help but smile at her, knowing how much she cares, but also how much she wants to intervene. Not that there should be anything for her to interfere with. You have been smiling since we left the ball, Victoria. Or the hall, Victoria. Then you should not make me do so with your obvious need to voice your thoughts. You fool yourself if you think that's the reason you smile. What else could there be? I certainly cannot begin to think. A dance, maybe? With a certain gentleman? It was only a dance, Arabella. And yesterday it was only a walk. You worry far more than you should. I worry more than enough for you. She steps closer to me, taking my hands in hers. I would have little true family if I did not have you. I know I feel the same about you, but we aren't family. That's so mean! I sometimes care more for you than my own family. That doesn't mean you can tell me how to live. I mean, this seems like the best. This is what I want to say because I love Arabella. I know, Arabella, and I feel the same about you. I smile, hoping to ease her frown. But I am quite old enough to decide how I live my own life, am I not? With her laugh, the tension begins to ease. She takes her hands from mine and nods. I suppose you are right. Did we not have this conversation once about Rupert? I believe so. Though we were much younger then, and I was trying to dissuade you. We were young, weren't we? Her smile falters a bit as painful memories obviously creep into her mind. You truly loved him, didn't you? I did not think to fall in love as much as I did. I was a foolish young fancy at the beginning, after all. To fall for a scoundrel is the most hellish of things, Victoria. I cannot recommend it. Suddenly I understand why she is so intent on my behalf. Rupert was not an ideal husband, even if their affections were true. I thought being older would give us more freedom in choosing our lives. I only wish you to be happy, Victoria, and secure. I know. And I have little to do now but interfere in your life, as I have little to do in my own. We should retire for the evening. I would very much like to walk in the park in the morning, and the earlier we are, the more people we shall meet. I nod at her and we move towards the door when she suddenly pauses and glances over her shoulder at me. May I ask? She frowns before continuing. Is there truly something beginning between you and Stanton? I shall not deny that I hope there is. I barely know myself. My business is my own. No. Yeah. I shall not deny that I hope there is something developing. I suppose it is hard to know where life will lead. Even less so where the heart will. I guess we shall have to wait and see. Aww. After that, we head to bed, my head swimming with thoughts heavier than before. The next morning, we take the walk Arabella was so looking forward to. With the sun to warm us, I am enjoying the outing far more than expected. Even when we are stopped every few feet in order to greet and talk with people. But it's not until we bump into a familiar figure that Arabella truly lightens up. Ooh! Yes! Okay. Oh, good. I'm so excited. 1 second. Okay. Oh, Colonel Foxley, what a surprise to meet you here. Yes! Lady Ashbourne, Miss Edwards. We curtsy and he gives a joyful bow. What did I tell you before, Colonel? Oh, I apologize, Arabella. As the man says her name, I can feel Arabella almost vibrate with happiness. I thought the military were only to be stationed in Bath for a few days. I have stayed behind with a couple of men to negotiate obtaining permanent residence for officers. That was a long sentence. Many of them wish for better societies than only that of their fellow soldiers. As the conversation continues, Arabella gradually drifts closer to Colonel Foxley, as would I. Eventually, I am left to walk behind as the two continue on, Arabella's hand sliding gently around Colonel's arm. Aww. I watch them with a smile, pleased to see Arabella so happy. Not wishing to disturb their talk, I decided it is best to walk down a side path alone. Ooh. After meandering through the park, inspired by the colorful blooms that grace the bushes around me, I start when I hear a sudden, angered yell. I'm not in this business for free. A man's voice interrupts the gentle solitude, and I give a deep frown as I make my way to the edge of the main park towards it. I come to the edge of the park where I see a carriage driver yelling at a young woman hiding a boy, who I can only assume is her son, behind her. Please, sir, I did not know the fare would be so much. That ain't my problem. I drove you here and I want my full payment. You said it would cost. It cost as much as it costs now. I can give you everything I have. She holds up a small coin purse which the carriage driver rips from her hands. And what else you got? His yelling attracts the attention of everyone nearby, and the woman looks on the verge of tears, glancing back at mortification at her son. The man is obviously trying to fleece the woman, and I almost burst with rage right there. I stride towards them, my sudden presence at their side making them both look towards me. What do you want? This ain't your business. Your generosity at not taking full payment is such a kindness. Your rudeness is forfeited any kind of payment. Pay the man instead. I mean, this would obviously end best, probably. But I want to do this or this. I'm gonna save just in case I'm wrong about that last one. Here. I open my coin purse, taking out a generous amount and shoving it in the man's hand. You have your payment, now leave. The man smirks at us, tossing the coins in his hands before shoving them into his pocket. He tips his hat to us. Good day to you, ladies. The carriage rattles away, and I can almost hear the man's glee as he goes. There are not enough words to express my thanks. To have that man gone is thanks. I'm sorry, Victoria. To have that... To have that man gone is thanks enough. She gives a small smile, and as she does, the boy behind her peeks around her skirt. Forgive me, I haven't introduced myself. She dips into a curtsy. I am Mrs. Mabel Downing. She reaches behind to pull the boy out in front of her. And this is my son, Hugh. I drop into a curtsy myself. I am Miss Victoria Edwards. Miss Edwards? What? That was Colonel Foxley. I wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry. Miss Edwards. The sound of Colonel Foxley's voice, Edward, echoes from behind us, and I turn to find him and Arabella rushing towards us. We heard raised voices and could not find you. Damn it, that was Arabella. We heard raised voices and could not find you. Are you all right? Yes, quite fine. Your friend has been most generous in her actions. Oh, I do not doubt it. She is quite the best of people. It's not letting me go. Oh. Lady Arabella Ashbourne and Colonel Foxley, this is Mrs. Mabel Downing and her son Hugh Downing. They exchange bows and curtsies before smiles to replace the formality. If you would allow it, I wish to thank you properly. Would you care to come to tea tomorrow? Oh, that would be lovely. We always enjoy making new friends. I know she said delightful, but I'm not going to say it again. Arabella grins and answers before I have the chance. I'm most pleased to hear it. The woman reaches into her bag, pulling out a small calling card and handing it to us. Until tomorrow, then. After curtsies and bows have been made again, Mrs. Downing and her son head off to the street at a hurried pace. What a sweet young woman. I know! Have you heard of her, Arabella? Her husband, yes, but not of her. He was involved in an accident some years back. It was quite a commotion, though I barely remember why. He never recovered from it. I did not know that he left behind a widow. Oh. We watched mother and son disappear around the corner. I suppose it is time for us to head back as well. I need to organize with Johnson if we are to be out tomorrow afternoon. She turns to Foxley and smiles brightly. Until next time, Arabella. His blush. Yes, until next time, Colonel. The two gaze at each other for a long moment, and I suddenly feel a little awkward standing next to them, though I doubt they remembered my presence at all. Eventually, Colonel Foxley glances at me, his eyes widening in embarrassment. And of course, you too, Miss Edwards. He gives a nervous laugh. It was good to see you again, Colonel. He gives a final bow before turning and heading away with rather happy gait. Oh, they're adorable. I turn my gaze to Arabella, the woman, watching the Colonel closely as he goes. A pleasant surprise to meet the Colonel here. And you worried about the strength of my attachments. The Colonel seems very attentive. Shall we head home? Let's see. Let's see. A pleasant surprise to meet the Colonel here. This one. The Colonel certainly seemed to be attentive. I don't know what you could possibly mean by that remark. Oh yes, because you're all innocents. I give a laugh and take her arm. Come, let us head home. The next day, I'm surprised to find myself rather excited to visit Mrs. Downing. She seems to be far more agreeable than most people I've met in town so far. We finally reach the address given to us, both surprised to find it quite so grand. It is difficult to believe that someone with a residence such as this cannot afford to keep their own carriage. We glance at each other before proceeding to the door. Inside, we are greeted by a young maid who shows us into the drawing room. Mrs. Downing stands as we enter, and we exchange the usual curtsies before sitting down at the finely upholstered seats. Though the fabric is rich, I notice the room not matching the finer furniture. Discolored patches on the walls where painting once hung, ornaments missing their missing partners, and the fire barely stacked with wood. I am so pleased that you managed to come today. You thought we would not? I know so few people, and I am of little consequence to society in this town. It would not have been surprising had you forgotten. The maid enters the room again to serve tea, the dulled china, I can't help but notice, also not suiting what was obviously once a grand room. It is true that we haven't seen you before at any events. I do attend, but I am not as bold as other women and prefer to keep to my own company, even though I do enjoy the bustle of the setting. Next time you must join us if you see us. You shouldn't shy away from making yourself known. I often find myself enjoying my own company better than others too. This one. Please do not worry in coming to find us at events in the future, Miss Downing. We would be delighted by your company. Victoria is right, I would much prefer this group over some of the ones I've been forced to converse with. We all laugh lightly when Mrs. Downing reaches forward to pour the tea. Your son is not here today? A warm, genuine smile lights the woman's pretty face at the mention of her son. He is out for the moment, though he should return shortly. He enjoys the sun and company of my brother too much to keep him inside. You have a brother? Yes, he graciously took me in after my husband passed away a few years ago. I'm sorry. It was many years ago, and I sometimes am glad to forget it. I cannot help but slide my glance to Arabella's direction in response to her words. It seems their marriage was not a happy one. The sound of the door opening in the foyer makes Mrs. Downing start, and she straightens herself. It must be my brother and her son now. The happy laughs of a boy echo over the hallway into the drawing room. I would be most happy to introduce you to him after the kindness you showed me yesterday. I give a nod, though it seems I had little choice anyway as the door to the room opens. Oh, shit. I knew she looked familiar. Oh, shit. Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 We all turn to look at the doorway, and my heart leaps into my throat as I find a familiar figure stood staring at me in shock from the doorway. I feel you. I know it would be best to speak, but I seem incapable of voicing anything at that moment. It is Stanton who breaks the silence. Miss Edwards, Lady Ashbourne, I didn't realize we were to meet, though I cannot deny the delight of the surprise. He manages to school his shock into a smile, and a shiver passes over me to find the gaze not moved from mine the entire time. They are here at my invitation, Isaac. Ooh, cute name. You are already known to each other, then? You bet. I gotta cut this episode short, but wow. Wow. I was not expecting that. Alright, see you guys later. Link in the description as usual. Bye!